You may have heard about a power animal but not understood it. Stay with me as we talk about one of the ways to achieve a power animal, the connections it can make, and the powerful impacts it can have upon you. Journeying for your power animal is a way to connect with spirit, to connect with a helping spirit. What a power animal is it's a helping spirit, a teacher, a guide that comes in the form of an animal species. And that particular animal species has gifts that it brings for you, has knowledge and information to help you in the process of where you're at right now. Journeying is a core shamanic practice. What journeying is you are transformed into an altered state of consciousness and you connect with spirit. That altered state of consciousness is what allows you to make that connection with spirit and for spirit to connect with you. The process for that is we are going to be journeying to the lower world, and from a shamanic perspective, there are three worlds you can journey to. There is a lower world, a middle world, and an upper world. And they do not correspond to heaven and hell as some people think about from a Christianity standpoint. The lower world is where power animals reside, where knowledge resides. And so what we do from the journeying standpoint is we make that transition down there and connect with them. This is a guided journey. I will be talking you through the process. I will be rattling, and that rattling helps to shift the brain waves to move you into that altered state of consciousness. The process that we suggest to people is to engage as much as you can in the front end of the journey. When you begin the journey, you want to engage all of your senses, as many as you can. You want to engage your imagination as much as possible. By engaging those senses in that imagination, it helps to make the journey much more vivid, much more real. What happens is at some point during the process, you switch from your imagination to that connection with spirit. And you need to trust the process, because what you're going to experience is not something that you can make up from an imagination standpoint. I will guide you through the process as I indicated earlier. I will talk you through and down to the lower world. You will meet something, somebody, some being, and then you will interact with them. During the time that you are interacting with whatever you meet, I will not be talking. I will give you a time period to interact and to learn. Once that time has expired, the time that you're allowed to interact with them, I will begin talking again and bring you back from the lower world back to where you are. What we suggest to people is that during the process you make yourself comfortable and be undisturbed. And what some people do is lie down. Some people will take a meditative pose. Sometimes people will play music in the background. I suggest if you do that it be music without words. When the process is done, I suggest that you do some journeying or note-taking for any information that you may have picked up. You will meet a power animal. That power animal may give you information at that point when you meet them about what they're there for. If not, there are ways that you can connect with the power animal. There are places that you can look to understand what the meaning of a power animal is. Journeying to meet your power animal is journeying to connect with a guide that will help you, a spirit guide that will help you, a teacher that will help you. It can be a very powerful and moving experience. I hope that you'll join us. You're walking on a path in the woods. It's a warm summer day. You can feel the warm wind blowing across your skin. You can hear the birds and the animals all around you. Smell the forest. You can see this path as it goes in front of you. It's familiar, it's comfortable. And as you look ahead of you, you can see where the path moves from the forest to a meadow. And as you walk along, you feel at peace, at ease, and comfortable. As you approach, you can see where the shade from the forest ends and the sun begins. You step out and feel that warm summer sun on your skin. Feel the breeze. You see the grasses of the meadow as they sway in the wind. Smell the flowers. Look around at the landscape. Enjoy the beauty. As you watch, the path begins to move in front of you across the meadow. And as your eyes follow the path, you see in the far corner of the meadow there's an enormous tree, the largest tree you've ever seen. You begin to move along the path across the meadow, enjoying the breeze and the smells and the sights of the animals and the landscape. And you walk along, comfortable and familiar. You can see where the shade of this enormous tree creates a line on the ground between shadow and sun. The path moves towards the tree, and you continue to walk, comfortable, at ease. You step from the bright summer sun into the shade of this enormous tree, and you pause for a moment to look up and marvel at this tree, at the branches, at the size of it. You begin moving again along the path, and you see the path leads towards the tree and winds around the trunk. And you walk under the shade of this tree. And as you get closer to the tree, you stop and put your hand on the bark, and you feel the energy, the life, moving through this tree. You feel the bark under your skin. Feel the warm summer breeze. You continue along the path as it winds around the tree. This tree is enormous, but there's a sense of life, of energy from this tree. And as you continue to walk around the tree with this path, you see that the path seems to turn into the tree. And as you get closer, you look, and there's an opening in the tree, and the path leads into it. And you step inside, and there's a space inside of this tree, and it's lit. And there's grass on the ground. And you move inside, and you lay down on the grass, and you're comfortable as this warmth from the tree, this energy from the tree washes over you. And as you relax on this ground, you begin to sink downwards through the grass, through the topsoil, down through the sand, through the gravel. You're sinking lower into the earth, down through the rocks, down through the bedrock. Continue to drop lower and lower. And you find yourself being dropped into a tunnel, and you lay on the bottom of this tunnel, and there's water. There's water flowing over this tunnel, a gentle amount of water, and that water washes over you and washes away any energies that do not belong here. The water now begins to move you along the tunnel. Slowly at first, as you move along, the tunnel twists and turns, and then begins to descend, lower and lower, as you move through this tunnel, going faster and faster, downwards, downwards, and you move through this tunnel with the water. And as you begin to hear, sounds like a waterfall coming, and the tunnel ends, and you drop down into a lake, an underground lake. And as you pop up from the surface of the lake, you look around to this enormous underground cavern. But the cavern is lit, and you can see all around. This place feels comfortable and familiar. And as you look across the lake on the shore, you can see a place that seems to draw you, and you move towards that shore across the lake. As you get closer to the shore, You realize it's a nice beach. You step out onto this beach and you look around at this cavern, this enormous cavern. You look at the sights and the wonders around this cavern. As you're standing there, you see from across the cavern, from deeper into the cavern, something begins to move towards you. Walking slowly towards you, moving slowly towards you. And you're not afraid. Somehow this is familiar. And you wait expectantly as this creature approaches closer and closer. You begin to recognize it. And you step forward in greeting. you begin to get the sense that it's time to leave. And you ask for any healing or knowledge you need to receive before you part. And you give thanks and gratitude for being here, for being allowed to be here, for meeting. And you turn and head across the shore back towards the lake. Back into the lake you go. You move across the lake towards where that water dumps into the lake from the tunnel. And as you get close enough, you're pulled up that water back into the tunnel. You begin to make your way back up, winding back up the tunnel. The water's pulling you up as you move upwards and upwards. And you bring with you that sense of peace, that sense of calm, that sense of love that you receive. And you move upwards in that tunnel until you get to the point where you first entered the tunnel, and you lay there for a bit, letting that water wash over you and wash away any energies that do not belong. And you begin to rise upwards, up through the tunnel, up to the bedrock, rising up higher and higher, through the bedrock, up through the sand, through the gravel, through the topsoil, up through the grass. And you find yourself laying on that patch of grass inside of that tree. And you marvel at the inside of this tree and the light that's all around you. And you get up and begin to move outside of the tree. You work your way around the path again as the path moves around the tree back in the direction you came. As you walk along the tree, you let your hand brush along the bark as you move, feeling that sense of life, that sense of energy, feeling that bark beneath your skin. And as the path leaves the tree and you begin to head across the meadow, you can see where that shadow line is from the. And as you leave the tree and begin to head along the path across the meadow, you can see where that shadow line is from the tree and the sun. And as you step across that shadow line into the sun of the meadow, you feel the warmth of the sun, the summer breeze on your skin. You see the grasses of the meadow moving, the flowers, the birds, the insects. And you look around at the landscape. And you're at peace. You're calm. And you continue along that path, across the meadow, back towards that forest. And as you make your way closer to the forest, you see the shadow line from the sun and the shade of the forest. And you step along that path into the forest and feel the coolness of the shade of the forest. And the path moves on in front of you. And it's familiar and comfortable. And you feel a sense of peace, of calm, of love from all around as you walk along this path in the forest. Go ahead and wiggle your fingers and toes. Make sure everything's back. Now would be a time to do any journaling if you received any messages or information or just want to record your experience. This is a journey that you can take whenever you want. You now have met a power animal. The power animal will help you as you move forward. You can take this journey again to meet with your power animal to have him help you as you move through your experiences of life. You can also take this journey to find another power animal. You can have more than one. Take with you that sense of peace, that sense of calm and love that you receive from this journey, from your power animal.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. We do love to hear from you.